Word on the street. Word on the street. Word on the street.
New Haven Independent is here, has a word on the street. Good morning, Nora. It's nice
Hi,
to see
Paul.
you.
How are you doing?
Good, boy. You're in loud and clear. Good
Oh,
job.
good to know. I did
Yeah,
just get an upgrade for my iPhone.
you
So,
really did. You just got an
yeah.
upgrade.
hmm
Yeah, I gotta look into that because I never sound this good when I'm out on the street doing word on the street. So, what's the word on the street, Nora? Who you got?
Yeah. So I'm at the Bottle Redemption Centers of America. I think that's the name of
Ooh,
this site,
great choice.
right off the Boston Post Road. And I've got Suki here to talk to us. So I'm going to turn the camera around and ask Suki, what's the word on the street?
The word on the street today is injustice. We're talking about injustice for the homeless in New Haven, and
All
what the
right.
city is doing to get rid of it.
Yeah.
So
Could we start with what we're doing here today?
we're turning in bottles. I go around New Haven every day, collect bottles, bring them in to help support, get heat and food and stuff for me and my husband. And that's what we were doing this morning. It's kind of a look into our life.
Yeah. And is this typically how you spend your morning?
This is how I spend my morning and usually my afternoons too.
Yeah. And tell me a little bit more about that. I know Suki has, she calls it her loop.
Yeah, my loop. I do it every day. I go all around New Haven. And there are lots of businesses. People get to know you. They see you. They say bottles for you. They'll give them to you when you come by, and it's just.
Yeah. How much time do you typically spend collecting bottles on a given day?
I'm there more than I am anywhere else. I think I probably spend an average of 6 hours a day, walking at least doing this. So
What area do you cover?
I cover almost all of New Haven from over here on the boulevard clear down to like the green. So
Wow.
I walk everywhere, all over Yale.
Good workout. And how many bottles, could we kind of quantify how many bottles you deposited today? I think it's impressive.
Well, we would have to look at the tickets, but I mean, if
Yeah.
I was the bottle, you'd think $20 today. We did just under $20 for this morning, and that was just, for last night. So I haven't got
Right. And yeah, can we expand on that idea of injustice? It's a big day.
It's a big day for Tent City and New Haven. The city has told us we had to do all kinds of things to stay. We keep doing them, and then all of a sudden they put a 72-hour notice, and today they're coming to kick us out. So we'll see what happens. If we had somewhere else to go, there obviously we wouldn't live in Tent City.
Right.
So,
And the background here is that there's an encampment right off El Grasso Boulevard, where about 20 people without stable housing have been staying for around 3 years. A week ago, the city put notices on all of the tents saying that if the residents did not meet certain standards of, I think, quote, clean living,
yeah.
they were going to shut down the encampment. Suki was one of the big players in actually cleaning up the encampment. She spent 6 hours a day for about a week, just clearing debris out of the site. And the city told everyone that they could stay. We wrote an article about the fact that Tent City seemed here to stay. And was it yesterday?
Yeah, just 2 days ago, city came back. I was actually out when they came, put the notices on the tents. It's kind of blindsided us, but also, certain city people involved, had approached me separately and are trying to get, some of us to leave,
Yeah.
That's right. I don't know.
Yeah. Can you say more about that? How has the city approached you? What have they offered?
Well, they right after that, I guess the publicity was bad. Then no one wants that. So they approached me and my husband and offered to buy us bus tickets out of state if we wanted to leave, but we had to leave right now. And we were supposed to give our answer by today, but today's when it's all going down. So
yeah. So can
you, if you want to show their support for homeless in New Haven, come down to El Grasso Boulevard.
Yeah. And yeah, could you talk a little bit about what's going through your mind? How do you make a decision here? You technically have the option you're originally from Georgia, right?
I am. I'm originally from Georgia. I came here because my husband's father is ill and his family is here. And we've kind of made a home here, and we've made lots of relationships with people here. And we really do try, the one thing I like about what I do is it's good for everyone. It's good for the environment. It's good for the city of New Haven. And I just wish that they could see that,
Yeah.
So even though we might not be valued citizens in the eyes of the city, we're still people and we still care about our city.
Yeah. And so your plan is to try to stay at the encampment?
Yeah, stand in our ground. So whether we all go down together or not, we're going to be there.
Yeah.
So.
And do you think, is that primarily out of necessity in terms of thinking about the future, you really want to stay at Tent City? That's the best case scenario, or is it about the community that you built there?
There really is.
Yeah.
And I've known other people that have stayed on the streets, and it's much scarier scenario when you're sleeping just anywhere, and and we really are a community.
Yeah.
We care about each other.
Yeah. What do you think you'll do if the encampment is closed down today?
I have no idea. I have no clue. So I guess we'll start. All I can do is remain positive and pray for the best.
Yeah. And I'm going to let Paul weigh in here too. Paul, do you have any questions you'd like to?
Well, so I'm sorry that you don't know where you're gonna be sleeping tonight, Suki. I hope you find a place. Has the city offered you beds in any facilities, or there's shelter,
No.
supportive housing?
They say that they were going to send people to help us in different workers and things, but they always say that and then it never comes through. So they really have very little interest in what happens to any of us. They just don't want it to look bad on them.
Would you want to be living, let's say, in a transitional shelter or in a supportive housing environment?
I mean, possibly. I mean, that could be. A lot of those places, though, it's hard to stay together, especially if you have a significant other or situation, and that's the one thing we have is we just have each other.
Yeah. How did you and your husband meet?
So we were dairy farmers. So yeah, we just met on a farm in Georgia and fell in love, and that's what it was.
Right.
So.
And can you tell our audience what your husband does for work as well?
My husband is a handyman. He works at the new TMT smoke shop down there on Congress. He remodeled that whole building. It's beautiful. And he does work all over the city for anybody and everybody. We do a little bit of everything. So
yeah. And how would you like to see the city treat Tent City?
I just wish they would realize that we're people. And we just want somewhere safe to be and the same respect and rights that other people have, and it shouldn't be that we're wondering, from day to day, whether we're just going to have somewhere to lay our head and not freeze to death.
Yeah. And what are your plans for the rest of the day? So how do you prepare for the city's
I'm
entry
going
to
to
your
be
home?
there. There's people there now. Everybody, they tried to keep the site clean, but it doesn't matter really what we do. They've already made their decisions. They decided to push us out there and push it off.
Yeah. And you were saying a lot of people there you think are in denial that this is going to happen.
Yeah, a lot of people are. But
Yeah.
what we can do is hope for the best.
Yeah. And could you talk a little? I think our audience would like to hear more about you. Could you tell us a little bit about your history as a farmer?
No, I mean, I was new to dairy farming. I only worked there for a very short time, but I've had the opportunities in life to do several things, so it's just looking forward to whatever the next is.
Yeah. And you were saying, so you've been at Tent City since July of last year.
Yes.
Okay. And had you experienced homelessness before that point ever?
No, I had never actually been homeless. It was totally something we had never thought, until COVID. We were always fine.
Yeah. How did this change your worldview to experience not having stable housing for this period of time?
It just makes you appreciate what you do have. It may not be much, but we appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Paul, any final questions?
This is what I wish you well, Suki. I hope
Thank you.
I hope things work out for you, and thanks so much for chatting with me and Nora today.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
All right.
Back
Thank you,
to you,
Nora.
Paul.
Well,
Bye.
that was so I guess what we're hearing from Nora Grace Flood on the ground is that they're going to dismantle Tent City today by the boulevard. That's by the West River, that encampment. There's been a lot of robust public discussion about where the homeless should live, at what point does it infringe on other people's rights and their own safety, or what rights should homeless people have. And it's been a tough decision for the city. I guess what I'm hearing now from Nora and Suki is that they're going to pull the plug and have people move. So stay tuned to the New Haven Independent, because I'm positive that Nora Grace Flood is going to have that story.